Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, a Core 4 parenting podcast blending soul and science-based strategies to empower pandemic moms like you, raising kindergarten-ready kids. I'm Cara Tyrrell, your host, a lifetime lover of littles, girl mom, early childhood educator, and conscious parenting coach who truly believes that how we connect and collaborate with our kids in the first 5 years is how we raise world-ready kids who will change this world. But before we dive in, I would love if you could do me a favor. Could you scroll on down, rate the show after you listen, and leave a review, ask a question, suggest a topic. This will help me know how to better serve you, who to bring in. It will also help friends find us, other moms who need to be hearing what we're talking about together. Welcome back to the podcast. On today's solo episode, I wanted to share something with you that really ties together this idea of raising an independent human being, right? On previous episodes, I have talked in depth about how my first daughter was born still. And Emma Grace is still part of who I am and our family's life, but in a very different way. I've also talked in depth about this belief that I have, this methodology that I've created about having a parenting GPS and writing personalized parenting mission statements that guide us as we raise the tiny little humans and become the architect of that early parenting journey, which, as we all know, translates to the blueprint that they follow as they grow up into their own adulthood and beyond, and all the phases and stages of that adult life. They use that as a way to launch themselves because that's how they believe the world is. So you know these things about me if you've listened to previous episodes or read any of my work. And so I wanted to share today this idea of when a baby is born, when your child came into your life, they were 100% dependent on you. When we file our taxes, they're literally called our dependents. We are the people who keep them alive. We help them survive. But the thing is, from a very, very early age, earlier than you could ever imagine, we have to start giving them opportunities to be independent. That matches where they are in their life. Because here's a funny story, okay? I know I'm a little rambly today, but I'm just all amped up. I'm really excited to share this with you. My husband and I went to a live comedy show recently. We'd never been to a stand-up comedian experience. It was very cool and a little bit different. And this comedian said something that really stuck with me. He was talking about a codependent relationship that he had been in and et cetera, et cetera. It was his story. But the point he made was, do you really know what codependency is? And half the audience had no clue. We know what independent means. We know what to be dependent means. But there's this gray area, this fine line about being a codependent person. And that's where, as adults, we get stuck if we don't know how to move back into our confidence of independence, the ability to share space and time with another human being without giving up too much of ourselves and without taking on too much of who they are. It's tricky stuff, this being a human and raising another one. And so when my second child came along, it would have been just too easy to lean into the fact that I had a breathing, living, screaming, crying, happy, healthy human and leave it at that and just melt into the fact that she needed me so much. And I needed her, viscerally so much that we would just be ever connected. That's it. End of story. I finally got what I needed. That would have been really easy to do. But I challenged myself. I said, no, this can't happen. Claire deserves to be her own person. She deserves the opportunity to be her own person, separate from whoever her sister would have grown into if she had stayed here on this earth with us. And more than that, she deserves the opportunity to grow into the best version of herself, separate from who I am. And so the big work started of finding that boundary line. At 3 months old, you are now old enough to learn how to independently feel what it feels like to soothe. I will teach you how to own self-soothing so you have healthy, complete, restorative sleep so you can be your best self when you're awake and learn and grow at the pace that you need to. At 9 months old, I will give you the opportunity to feed yourself because you have the capability to do it. At 18 months old, I will allow you to explore with your feet as you run in most settings as long as you're safe, because it is time for you to do that and independently explore your world. At 5 years old, it is time for you to take that big leap and navigate a new setting, that kindergarten place everyone talks about. So what it means is it's time for you to drop the nap. Yes, I know how incredibly blessed I was to have a kiddo who still wanted and needed a nap at 5 years old. But I knew what she needed to do to grow into that next space because we had all day kindergarten. And so I gave her opportunities to practice that, even when it would have been so much easier to take those 2 hours for myself. Finding those lines between what they need to grow into their best selves while still having this huge measure of dependence on us to keep them safe, loved, warm, healthy, filled nutritionally, growing with opportunities is a really tricky balance. And it's yours to design because you know who your kiddo is. It's big work. It's intentional work. And it's why you're someone who listens to this podcast, because you're conscious about it. Doesn't mean it's easy work. The big things usually are the hardest. Please never hesitate to hop onto the socials. DM me. I'm doing the best I can, but it's so hard and I just need some support. Hop into our private conscious parenting Facebook group. Ask the other mamas in there. Share with them. And of course, the Transforming the Toddler Years program will get you where you need to be, kind of in that safe container, but consistent pacing where we work together to bring you to a space where you feel really confident. I did a meditation a different morning this week, and the last sentence actually had me drop in the furthest. It said, calm is a superpower. And calm and confidence always go together for me. Calm confidence is your superpower. When you feel calm, your energy is at a great vibration for interacting with your toddlers and preschoolers and kindergartners and every agers. But when you feel confident inside that calmness, that you know what you're choosing to do, why you're choosing to do it, and which strategies are actually going to get you there, you can't lose. And I don't mean the outcome will always be positive and pretty and happy and smiley. I mean, when you know those 3 things so much, they're like emblazoned inside your soul, you know them. Whatever the outcome is, even if it means a child is disappointed, even if it means there's tears, you know what you chose, you know why you chose it, and you know that you added to the long-term learning outcome for that kiddo to practice a skill of independence. You can go to bed that night and say, I did my job. I did a great job. I am an amazing mom. And that is what I'm here to help you feel every day. Exciting news. I wrote you a book, an ebook, and I recorded the audio version for you as well, because you are busy multitasking, mindful mamas. Grab your copy today of The Pandemic Mom's Guide to Preschool Readiness and anchor into the 5 executive functioning skills that your child needs to practice on the daily using you as a guide. It's so easy to do. I've built it so that it just naturally happens inside your day as you interact with your kids. And yes, each chapter is delivered to you 1 chapter a day to your email, so that all you have to do is click and listen for a few minutes. It's easy, it's efficient, and it's effective. Let's raise some school and world ready kids. Just go to caratyrrell.com/ebook. That's Cara Tyrrell, TYRRELL.com/ebook, and grab your copy of the Pandemic Mom's Preschool Readiness Guide today. Until our next episode, stay mindful and proactive as you transform the toddler years.